In order for governments to have full control over the population, they must have full control over the economic system. So today we will discuss how the cashless society has begun. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I want to quickly go over the different examples of this cashless society that are being implemented throughout the entire world. In fact, we will note that this is not a policy by one individual government. We will see that this is a policy that has been dictated globally by those who control the people in government. Let's look at this first. We're looking at France. France steps up monitoring of cash payments to fight low-cost terrorism. Now, this is just one article out of Reuters, but I want to connect it in with the next article, which is out of Forbes, also about France. They have plans to erect new controls on cash transactions in order to tighten up tax collection and meet the country's optimistic budget deficit target of 3% of GDP. What they say in this article and many others that I was researching is essentially that they are worried about illegal activity taking place and they're able to use cash so that it isn't tracked. This is a very legitimate excuse. I can totally understand where they are getting at. The only issue that I find is how this is taken to the next level. They are really imposing these controls on the individual citizens because those who want to conduct this illegal activity aren't going to follow these rules. They're not going to abide by these rules at all. So I'm going to have to move on quickly before I get too much into this. I want to just note all the different examples. Spain cash transaction ban begins as Rajoy targets tax fraud. Spain began prohibiting consumers from paying cash to settle bills of 2,500 euros or more in legislation designed to curb tax evasion. They use many different excuses for the reason that they want to implement capital controls, but it is all a global policy, as I've said before. So this is not just a European issue. It does, in fact, extend out of the EU, out of Europe, and beyond. But let's look at this first. We're taking this article out of the RT, but it's referring to Denmark. Their central bank, national bank, plans to stop printing banknotes and minting coins by the end of 2016. It claims that people increasingly prefer the use of credit cards and electronic money in transactions rather than cash. See, the monetary system has been really easier to transact over the years, and people are really tired of using cash. They don't want to use the coins. They want the easiest possible method of payment. I can completely agree with this in the theory here that, we don't want to have the burdens that are really unnecessary. But what happens when they take control? Central banks have carried out a series of local experiments in reducing the circulation of coins in recent months and years. As I have said many times before, anything that the governments here implement are always done through a trickle or tiptoe system. They want to acclimate the public to certain degrees on these factors that they have been implementing. They do this so that the public doesn't wake up. They don't want people speaking the truth about it because then eventually it makes it down the line into the general public. This is something that they have been doing for quite some time. In my book, I was drawing this diagram here where I'm talking about the history of the monetary system. There's a chapter on that. And essentially what I discuss here is that first it began with livestock, people trading livestock as a means of barter. Then it was crops. And then obviously the barter system became very cumbersome as the deals became more frequent and were over longer distances. So here they implemented coins, and that became a widespread really situation that was taking place. So the coins were obviously excellent, but even the coins became a burden to the individuals. So the banking system was developed and they were able to hold on to your coins for you, and then they gave you this paper note or certificate that said, you hold the money with us, and this is your paper note, which is not money. We are holding the money, and then you can use this paper note, and then if you want the money back, you just come in with your certificate and we'll give you your money back. That's the way it all worked. But essentially, as you can see from this diagram, the paper money has an IOU on it because it is not in fact money. It's not in fact worth anything. And today that is changing a lot because even the paper money is going the way of the dodo bird, and we have seen that it is becoming definitely a cashless society. Let's look at Israel. They're eyeing becoming a cashless society. Benjamin Netanyahu's chief of staff has recommended a 3-phase plan to all but do away with cash transactions in Israel. So as I've said, this is a policy that has been going on all around the world. These are global policies dictated not by the governments, but by the supranational organizations and the elite wanting to maintain control over the population. Let's look at Latin America. Here we have Mexican president signs money laundering law banning large cash transactions. Out of Fox News, they signed into law a ban on large cash transactions as part of an effort to fight money laundering that experts estimate may amount to around $10 billion per year in Mexico. So once again, we have a legitimate issue. They are conducting massive amounts of illegal activity in Mexico right here, and they want to put a stop to that. So what do? They ban these cash transactions over a certain amount. But is that really going to stop the cash from flowing from one person's hands to another? No, it just makes it illegal. So when it's illegal, that's just another way to generate revenue. They're not going to stop the cash unless they completely ban cash from circulation and it finds its way elsewhere and the people are forced to use a digital payment. That's a different story. But look who's behind Operation Fast and Furious. Look who has been doing these things where they had the money laundering with Wells Fargo and Wachovia, guilty of hundreds of billions of dollars of money laundering. They're all in this together. It is not really trying to stop this from happening. It's a limitation on the citizens. That's why they have implemented these. Last but not least, Uruguay financial inclusion law. They're talking about the electronic banking services will play a central role in Uruguay's new financial inclusion law, which was approved by the Senate. And essentially more of the same, that they're imposing capital controls in order to, facilitate the needs of the government is what they're saying. But this is going far beyond that. I just want to give my brief opinion before closing off and just say that the cashless society is there specifically to control the population. They want to have people subdued. If you speak up, if you speak the truth, if they don't like what you are doing on a daily basis, they can just lock you out of your money. You literally can't go to the store to buy food. They can't do the basic things that they need. You can't buy what you need because the government could shut you down. Now, what if a hacker took over and hacked into the system? All your money is gone. What about all the glitches that we've seen with the ATMs, with the banks, that basically prevented people from getting access to their money? They said their accounts had $0 in it. What about all the problems that exist for digital transactions? What if the power goes down? There is no means of transaction in between two individuals. What about sovereignty? What if you and I wanted to transact? We could not do so without the intervention of the government. And what if they deemed that this transaction was illegal? Now all of a sudden there is a felony. There could be crimes involved with this. This is absurd. There should be the legality here would allow people to transact in between each other. But they're trying to prevent that. They're trying to have you and I go to the big box stores and buy everything we need over there. They're trying to get us to go through mother government at all times and essentially changing this way of the barter system. They're going further and further away from that, and they're trying to have us funnel through their system that are controlled by the elite. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. I truly appreciate that very much. And just wanted to let you know that I will be doing so many different types of videos coming in the near future. I'm going to be answering your questions. I'm going to be doing all kinds of different things. I hope that you will enjoy that. And we are soon to hit 20,000 subscribers. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I want to say hello to every single one of you out there. I do read your comments. I do read all of your emails. So it's just try to continue to email me, and you'll have to wait a little bit because it does take me some time to get back to you, but I do reply to all of my emails, and I only have a few handfuls left in both of my inboxes there. So definitely getting back to all of you there. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this information, then I'm sure you will enjoy my book, The Money GPS. If you want to flip through the book, all you need to do is go over to Amazon, and there's the look inside feature, and you can flip through it on there, see if you like it. Take care.